ideas that would force my business into a constant state of catch-up. In the process, I experienced the epiphany that the day-to-day slugfest in the office, meeting with employees, seeing customers, engaging in conference calls, catching the red-eye to L.A., is the land of business as usual, the place where you are too busy executing to innovate. I knew I had to get out, to take a hike, 1,000 hikes. So I ventured off to Ward Pound Ridge Reservation, a wilderness preserve about 5 miles from my home. Hardly ever a soul there, just me and my dog and a pad, which has now morphed into a blackberry. I walk and think. I sit under an oak tree and think. In summer, I put my feet in a stream and think. The only rules are that I don't think about anything tactical. I think about new ideas, new components of my philosophy, perhaps a whole new philosophy. Everything is open to examination, to rethinking. For more than a decade, this is where I have turned to reinvent myself, to grow, to develop the ideation for an ever better business, an ever richer life. Some years ago, I heard the wonderful story of how Edwin Land was struck with the brainstorm for inventing instant photography. Walking down a street in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Dr. Land suddenly saw his daughter's wide eyes looking up at him. "Dad, how come we can't see a photo as soon as we take one?" Just as he was about to espouse conventional wisdom as to why that would be impossible, Land checked himself and instead wondered, why not indeed? Until that unexpected turning point in his life, Land thought of the laboratory as the center of the action. But on that magical day, he recognized that the laboratory didn't hold a candle to a stroll in the sun with his daughter. It was Land's hike. Do you have one? A way to extricate yourself from the bouillabaisse of daily to-dos to engage in the power of ideas? Whatever form your hike takes, it can drive your strategy as you manage your business unit and your life. Without it, you may be very busy. But doing what? And going where? This book will help you ask these questions and find the answers. As you move through life, nurturing a career or building a business, you face the option of doing what comes naturally, or, and this is a big or, driving yourself to achieve a higher standard, pursuing relentless improvement, continuously assessing every aspect of what you do and how you do it with the determination to raise the bar. This means declaring war on yourself. Constructive war, to be sure, but war nevertheless. Passive people who are willing to accept themselves for what they are, without the drive and the will and the passion and the pedal to the metal conviction to improve themselves, may appear to have a certain kind of personal solace, but they will always be left in the dust by those who seek bigger, better, richer rewards, by rejecting what is and aspiring to what can be. This is especially true for anyone who manages or has the ambition to do so, anything. A company, a department, a business unit. Whether you are first starting out in business or are a seasoned pro, the need to declare constructive war on yourself is ever present. It means that you will never accept things the way they are. Instead, you will drive yourself to learn more, think more creatively, pursue innovation, and demand excellence in everything you do and/or are involved with. Extraordinary managers aren't extraordinary by dint of their DNA alone. In the course of my career, I've had the privilege of meeting and working with scores of them. All are dramatically different men and women, drawn from disparate backgrounds and operating in widely diverse industries, but united by a non-stop determination to keep upping the ante on themselves, and through osmosis and directive on those reporting to them. There is a powerful dynamic at work here. Anyone who achieves success as a manager, as a business person, as a leader, views his life as a work in progress. Rather than accepting who or what you are as the finished product, frozen in place by genetics or fate, you keep driving to a higher level of knowledge, experience, talent, and ultimately performance. In effect, you are determined to leave your former self behind, as the model of what can be inspires your personal growth. We all respect the young athlete who practices day and night to achieve the highest levels of professional accomplishment. Jimmy Connors, standing on a court, practicing his serve until it is too dark to see. Tiger Woods, practicing his putt until he lands in the pantheon of golf's greatness, and then puts his determination into overdrive, pursuing the next tiger and the next tiger and the next tiger that he believes resides within the unlimited potential of himself. The passive among us advise that we should be comfortable within our own skin. But the truly successful reject this, shedding their skin as they march toward the new and continuously more effective embodiment of themselves. All of their lives they declare constructive war, knowing that this is the route to extraordinary performance and the spoils of success that go with it. Some years ago, I spent time alone with Bill Gates on the Microsoft campus. Of all the impressions that have stayed with me from that day, none is more indelible than Gates's lifelong commitment to declare war on himself. Bill Gates. I toss and turn at night, thinking about the kid in a garage who is gunning for Microsoft. For me, there's never a day that I feel safe, impervious to competitors. The only way this company can prevail is if it keeps getting smarter and smarter, exponentially smarter. As the Microsoft CEO, the same principle applies to me. When people ask me if I think I'm smart, my answer is, not smart enough. The world keeps moving forward, and I have to stay ahead of the curve. The way I view it, there's not a minute to waste. You know that dead time we experience when we get out of our cars and walk into our homes? I've decided to turn that into productive time, so I mount educational material on the garage wall. Right now, I have a map of Africa up there. Instead of staring into space as I move from car door to front door, I glance at the map. Day by day, a part of the world I don't know enough about sinks in, and when I feel I know the geography of Africa well, something else will get tacked to that wall. Great leaders never stop learning, never stop driving themselves to be better today than they were yesterday, to know more, to uncover mysteries, to fill gaps. It's their way of declaring constructive war on themselves. They know that once they get complacent, someone lurking around the corner will eat their lunch. For years, former Citigroup CEO Sandy Weil kept a sign in his office. "The boss isn't happy." This was Sandy's in-your-face way of saying, as long as I'm running this place, we're declaring war on the business every day. I remember when my wife and I vacationed at the Cap Juluca Resort on the island of Anguilla. The resort owner, Dion Friedland, happened to be at his resort at the time. A gregarious South African, he regaled us with stories of his years in Johannesburg, where he earned his fortune building Dion stores into the largest chain of discount stores in South Africa. At the time, when Friedland's business was generating $200 million in annual sales, and Walmart was in the multi-billions, Dion received a letter from Sam Walton, asking if he could visit him to learn his secrets of success. Astounding. Here was the global king of discount retailing seeking to learn from a guy who built a business a fraction of the size of Walmart. But to Walton, he was simply following one of the fundamental rules for wise and enlightened management. Anytime you can learn from anyone, anywhere, seize the opportunity. To Sam, every day was the right time to declare constructive war on himself, to be a smarter, wiser, broader-thinking Sam Walton than he was the day before. Dion Friedland remembers the visit with 20/20 vision. Walton arrived in Johannesburg with a pad and tape recorder and spent every waking moment talking to and interviewing my employees, my customers, and me. He was the greatest retailer who ever lived, and he was on a mission to learn, to better himself, to prep for success, as if he was a kid in college preparing for his first job at Woolworths. If there was a way to wake up each day as a new and improved Sam Walton, he was going to find it. I always called Sam Walton the best brain picker who ever lived. Sam wasn't the best innovator, and he certainly wasn't the most creative retailer I've ever met. But he had a unique ability